Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator. And as promised, we are going to be doing a full flight, first impressions video of the recently released HondaJet, or H-Jet that we need to say due to licensing. But anyway, today we are going to check it out. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkills tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future updates and future guides that will be coming down the road. Link to Patreon can be found in the description below. Okay, guys, so as said, we are checking out the newly released HondaJet. I know it's supposed to be H-Jet, and the reason why they did H-Jet is because Honda didn't really want them using the licensing stating as a Honda. I don't understand how it works. Like, we all don't know what it looks like and what it is. Anyway, and that's not a shot to the developer. That's a shot at Honda. You know, it's like, why would you not want people to be aware of your aircraft? And I don't understand it. I really don't. But anyway, the textures of this aircraft are beautifully done. And, you know, as another commenter on a different video stated, what's amazing is this was all done by one man, by one person. I mean, this is just incredible. I mean, you get inside of it and everything just looks beautiful and detailed. And it is, I mean, it's the TBM 930 of the jet world is really a good way to describe it. It just has all those, actually, I'd say, well, I guess a smaller version of the Cessna Longitude is what it reminds me of, really. But really small, really compact aircraft that should be a ton of fun for us to fly today. Now, I have yet to fly it. We're going to do this all as a first-time experience. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. Let's go ahead and get right into getting her started up. I have set up some custom cameras. We have gone through the sim brief, and I've created a flight plan for us today. We're doing a real quick hop. We're just going from Tucson over to Phoenix. Should be less than an hour flight. I mean, we're probably only looking at about 20 minutes of flight time, if that. It'll be really, really fast. A lot of action should be happening pretty consistently. Now, the other thing that I do want you guys to be aware of is when I was trying to mess around with it earlier, like I said, I haven't flown it, but I've messed around with it a little bit. When I was entering my flight plan, all of the nav data was missing. It would load the airports, like I could set my origin airport, my destination airport, but any SIDS, stars, waypoints in between, nothing like that, it couldn't ever find it. It wouldn't actually do anything. What I ended up having to do, in case you guys run into this for any reason, is I had to use the Navigraph FMS Data Manager specifically for Microsoft Flight Simulator. There's two different apps. There's one that works with X-Plane 11, P3D, and then there's one that is specific to MSFS. And so you got to make sure that you got the right one. The cool thing is it updated the Microsoft Flight Simulator nav data for me. It also updated the PMDG 737 data for me and the Phoenix A320. So you'll have all of those that are available for update by using that tool. So just in case you run into that. All right, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is turn our battery on. We do have ground power available, so I'm going to go ahead and get that connected as well. The game has a pretty awesome checklist, which we're going to see here in just a minute. We're going to go ahead and turn on the MFD here. I mean, just look at these screens. It looks gorgeous. Let's clear that master caution. We don't need that on at the moment. The other thing to remember about the HondaJet is it's very, very automated. It is sort of the jet of the future, if you will. It's because you're going to notice like our external lights and configuration. A lot of the things that we used to do manually, even right down to a lot of the pre-flight tests, which we're going to see in a second, are done through automation. So let's get started and see what that looks like. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to step right down here and we're going to start getting the aircraft loaded. Now, I like to go through the initialization page here. So what we're going to do here is I'm carrying 3 passengers, so according to my flight plan. So we're going to get rid of that guy here, just have our 3. And I'm going to go to the initialization and set everything through here. So this is pretty cool. So first we're going to go to system tests, right? We're going to step on over here and just do the pre-flight. And it's going to automatically walk through all 3 stages. We're going to hear the stall warnings going off, the stall shakers, and we can just keep on moving. While we're doing that, we're going to go over fuel, and we're going to click this button here. There's the stall shaker. Sorry, this is crew and stores. So for here, I'm only put 100 pounds. We're gonna say just the pilot and co-pilot or the first officer stuff. You saw the lights test come on there. He did the lights test there. So just a little bit of cargo for pilot and first officer. Then we're gonna go to payload. Here's where it gets cool. 3 passengers. Okay, and you can see weight each. You can change the weight of each passenger if you choose. But yeah, we'll pretend they're all skinny and healthy because I'm certainly not. And then cargo, I'm going to set, let's see here. Let's call it, let's see, we're in a private jet. I don't know, 50 pounds per person. Let's call it 150 just to be square, right? Fuel, according to our flight plan, we're looking for $16.98 today. Throw that in there. And you can also gather everything from the sim. So if you set everything up in the payload menu here, you can just click that and it will pull it directly from the simulator. But we're entering it in manually because it's fun. Taxi fuel, we're looking at losing 100 pounds on the taxi. That's a lot of fuel in the taxi. Wow. But other than that, we are set and ready to go. All right, so next it takes us directly over to our V-speeds. Now here I am going to pull it from the sim because I haven't yet gone obviously into any kind of detailed research on the aircraft to calculate how to actually get our V-speeds. So we're going to go get from sim. According to everything here, here's our V-speeds. Let's turn the bugs on so that way we have those on the speed tape during takeoff. We're not going to worry about landing yet. We'll check our landing on our way as we get closer, probably within the first 8 or 9 miles, maybe a little before from our destination. Try to keep those as accurate as possible, assuming that everything goes well. Now, coming into the home screen here, got a couple of things that we can take a look at. This is where this gets pretty cool. So, well, actually, it's been cool. So, on each of the PFDs, you can see, well, oh, no, okay, nope. Each on the PFDs, you can see these screens repeat itself on both sides. So, we have the status of the aircraft. You have your environment, hydraulics, ice protection, if it's turned on, tells you what the surface temperature of each of the areas of the platform are. Electrical configuration tells you whether or not the buses are connected. I wonder what happens when we open the bus tie. Let's open it. Ah, it severs the bus tie. That's beautiful. So you can actually see if your buses are functioning or if you've lost some electrical power to something. Let's reconnect the bus. There we go. And now the bus tie shows connected, which is what we want. Fuel. Get your fuel in each tank. This is badass, dude. This is pretty slick. That's cool. I like that. System controls. Let's jump down there. And this is where it gets more into the automated portion of this. You have your exterior lights. Now, there's going to be a couple things that I did find that was a little weird. And that was that, for example, the strobe light. The strobe light's on right now. We can't... Oh, well, actually, hang on. Well, you know what? Wait. We can turn it off now, but I want to show you guys something when the engines start. That's as far as I've gotten with this aircraft, is starting the engines. But all of your lighting is controlled directly through here. Okay, so we have everything from the beacon light, navigation light. Now, norm is all set to norm. So think of norm as automatic. The aircraft's going to decide, based on the position and the configuration of the plane, what comes next. Okay, interior light, same thing. We can dim the cockpit lights, brighten the cockpit lights. Oh, where am I going here? Oh, it's not letting me do anything. Oh, wow, there's that one, though. Pilot footwell, we can turn on. I saw that come on right there. Fasten seatbelt signs. Look at that. That's awesome. And we are fueled, so we'll go ahead and turn that on. No smoking signs. Definitely not. Don't smoke on my plane. There's the brightness. Oh, I see. It's the cockpit overhead light that actually brightens and dims. I got you now. All right. I'm with you. I'm caught up. It's the first time I've messed with the interior lights. All right. And then next, you have your performance. This is everything that we sort of touched before. VNAV, we'll get back to that in a minute here. It is using the G3000 suite, so... I assume that the working title integration, I imagine, is in there, is what's going on here, which is phenomenal. You're not going to hear me complain about that. Now, something else you're going to want to do is go over to charts. Go to chart options. This is if you have a Navigraph subscription. Sorry, backup. That's not what I wanted. We want utilities. There we go. Utilities on the pilot side. Go to setup, database, and we do have it configured, but you would click here. And then it automatically displays everything. Here, we'll just walk through it. So right now it's got a web browser that opened on my computer, taking me directly to Navigraph. It's asking me to sign in. I just hit yes. It's asking me, are you wanting to link the... Yep, it is using working title. Do I want to link my account to the working title G3000? So if you've done this with the working title G3000, you've done this before. And we just hit link account. Although, you know what? I think I closed the screen too soon. Oh, nope, there it goes. All right, cool. We're good. All right, so now we have our charts ready. And then now, as you can see here, we have everything ready to roll. Look at that. Go to airport information, and it even tracks the location of our aircraft beautifully. So let's start taking a look at the checklist, and then we'll play around with some of the other cool stuff later. Oh, I guess the last thing I want to show you is sim options. So you can go to sim options, it brings you back to this page. Go to sim actions, and here's where we can open all of our doors. Put on the static elements, Let's just do that, and let's step outside. There we go. Engine covers, doors open, cargo doors open. You guys know how much I love this kind of stuff. What would you do? How would you get back there? Like, there must be, I guess maybe that distance is a little bit more than it looks, but man, like you'd really have to squeeze in there for a second, huh? Still dope. Absolutely cool. All right, let's get back in the cockpit. We've seen all the cool stuff. Our passengers are on board. Our cargo's loaded. Let's close the doors. Let's get started. So, checklist. Now, this part gets a little tweaky, so I'm going to try to show you guys as best I can. I want to try to get a view that's really good for you guys. I don't know how much of this you're going to be able to see, but we're going to do our best. Okay, so to tick an item, you're going to press this button right here. You just need to be careful because depending on the angle that you're at, you'll go to click this button and you'll do exactly what just happened. You'll hit the parking brake. Okay. So just be ready for that. It's a little sensitive. The contacts are right on top of each other. So let's just walk through a few of these and then we'll tick them all at once. So we have oxygen. Oxygen is on and set to norm. We can test the supply. I don't think the Doppler works, but that's all right. Pressurization should all be set to norm. Electrical, all on and norm. Emergency locator transmitter should be set to norm as well. Nose wheel steering is set to norm. Landing gear handle is down. Alternate gear handle release right here is pushed in and stowed. Parking brake is pulled out and set. Flaps are up. Speed brake is retracted. And let's see here. Thrust levers are all the way in the cutoff position. And let's see where are we at here. Next is trim panel, windshield heat. So basically we're going to walk right through. I'll show you guys. We're just going to walk right through this bottom. It's a nice flow, just like any other aircraft, right? So we have our ice protection should be set to norm. Norm engine anti-ice is off. Tail de-ice is set to norm. Fuel system should be norm, norm, and norm. Trims should all, again, be reading norm. You guys are noticing a pattern, I'm sure. And let's see, windshield heat, norm. Pneumatic pressure, norm. And engine bleeds should also be set to the norm position. All right, so at this point, let's go ahead and tick a few of these out. Oh, got a couple more things to clear this one. So our glare shield should be dark, meaning that none of the lights are indicating. And our chime light should be out. All right, so now let's see if we can't clear some of these through. There we go. Tick, 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 tick. It's actually a pretty good checklist. I really dig this one. Okay. And go to the next checklist. I think we can just click that one. Boom. All right, so now we're looking at engine start. Passenger briefing. Hey, guys, we're going to take off. Rudder pedals. Yep, they're there. You know what, though, with my rudder pedals? Okay. Windows likes to turn my rudder pedals off. Rudder pedals are set. Seat and seat belts are set. Doors are closed. Parking brake is still set. Cast messages review. So we're going to come down here. Whoa. Whoa, hey. And you have left and right engine oil pressure low, left and right fuel pressure low, left and right engine shut down. Exterior power door is still open, and left and right generator are off. No further cast messages are displayed. So coming back up, backing back up a little bit. Let's keep going. So cast messages are reviewed and all part of the engines being off. All should clear once we complete the startup process. Engine instruments check, verifying idle. All pressures and fuels and everything look as they should with the engines again turned off. Oh, I missed a line. We're actually at engine start. So let's get rolling. What we're going to do is press each of these start buttons. Engine should throttle up to about 10%. At that point, we'll take the throttles out of cutoff, move them into idle. We'll do that manually with the mouse and then go about our merry way. So starting with the right engine, off we go. Listen to that. All right, so it's ready for us. Just move it up. Inlet temperature rising. There we go. All right, and rinse and repeat for the left engine. Let's see if you guys can see what I was talking about. Not yet. At least I don't see them. I'll tell you guys when I see it. Just hasn't happened yet. Oh, darn it. Sorry. Plane's like, come on, man. And I do that just to make sure my throttles are at idle, because you have to take it out of cutoff with your mouse. So I like to make sure that I'm actually at the bottom there. All right. Engines both stabilizing. Start process completing. Engine gauges are reading normal. At least as normal as I'm aware of. Boom, I'm here all week, folks. Engine anti-ice as required. External power. Looks like it automatically disconnected. Yep, they even got rid of the cart force once the engine started. How awesome is that? And flight controls are free and correct. Let's go ahead and give that a check. There it is. All right, so... Oh, no, I do not have... Okay, note to self. If you are going to fly an airplane, make sure that your flight stick is actually plugged in. Well, it was plugged in. The USB power supply was off. All right, so we are done here. Let's clear some checklists. Oh, darn, parking brake. Set that back up. You got to be just above it. And off to the next one. All right, before taxi, wing anti-ice as required. Transponder code. Let's get that going. Let's see, it's going to be transponder code, flight ID, and flight plan. So let's do all of that at the same time. Yong. All right, so first off, transponder code, let's set 4112, just like we do in any other G3000. Transponder mode should be in the on position at this point. We're getting ready to taxi. Let people know we're here. And let's go to the flight plan. Add origin. Kilo Tango Uniform Sierra for Tucson International. Destination is going to be Kilo Papa Hotel X-Ray for Phoenix. And let's see if our procedures are working now. Hey, they are indeed. All right. And nope. Let's see here. Runway, we are using 29er right today. 29er right. That's the transition. GBN. Wildcat 3 is what we're departing on. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, I'm so glad it was working. Guys, I fought with this for so long. On the arrival, let me check our flight plan here. We're coming in on the ping 1. That's what I expected. So let's load this up. Ping 1, and the transition point is actually going to be hot. And we are coming in. We are expecting runway 26, so we're good there. Load, hit back, approach. ILS 26 is what we're hoping for today. There it is. Looking absolutely beautiful. Now, let's check this, because I actually don't know. That doesn't sound right, but maybe it is. I think Surrun is right. Let's double check. Okay, so let's just use our handy-dandy charts. Let's see here. We want Kilo Papa Hotel X-Ray as our airport of reference. We're looking at the arrivals. Actually, I'm looking at the approaches, excuse me. And we're looking for ILS 26. And now let's go up to our MFD. Zerlo's way over here. Surrun's here. Yeah, we're going to use Surrun because we're going to be coming up from this way. Yep. All right. Cool. So let's go back to our flight plan. Hello. Go to procedures. Go to the approach. And, oh, I guess Zerlo's our only option. Oh, that's the sequence. Hello. Not. All right. Gosh, I wonder if they changed it. I don't remember that waypoint. Although I haven't flown this one in quite a while, so it is what it is. Let's hit load. I could have just hit preview show on chart. I don't know why I didn't do that. All right, guys, we are looking beautiful here, and we don't have any directs to worry about. So the only thing that I'm going to do at this point is we're going to go to the map page, and I want to see this flight in action. So let's do this. And I want to wheel the range down a little bit, if I can remember how. There we go. So you don't get the arrows that you normally get indicating that you can roll it. You just sort of have to wing it. And let's... There we go. Alright, so there's the Wildcat. Then we should come up here to Gila Bend. Yep, I think... It's using hot as the transition, and I think instead what we're going to do is take... Wait, B-ball? I didn't select B-ball. And this is why we double check our flight plans. That is not... It did. We don't want that. We want Gila Bend. Although Gila Bend is still going to be a problem. It's going to backtrack us a little bit. It's going to backtrack us. So there's Wildcat. Now we're coming off to the Gila Bend, then to Rosker. Yeah, and you can see what it's going to do. It's almost taking us even further. And then we're going to go all the way back. You know what I think we'll do? I think after Rosker... Oh, darn it. I think after Rosker, we'll go to hot. Let's do that. So let's just change that now. I know a guy up at the tower, and he's like, you know what, bro? You don't want to fly that. It's totally cool. I get it. You know, we're kind of like, we're in tight, you know. We go to Taco Bell together. So let's go GBN. Anybody remember how to delete a waypoint? I got to remember how to do this. You know what I think we'll do then is... I can't remember how you delete a waypoint. I'm going to be honest. Oh, remove waypoints. Grayed out. I bet it's because it's part of the plan. So we'll just fly direct. All right, no problem. We'll fix that during flight. Okay, so let's see where we're at here. According to our checklist, we have wing anti-ice is not going to be necessary. Transponder code is set. Flight ID is set. Flight plan is in. Navigation source. Let's move over to our PFD. Hey, bud, can you get out of my way? Thanks, pal. You act like you're important. Okay, and we want GPS on the CDI here. Okay, and let's see what else we got here. Altimeters, let's go ahead and set our barometric pressure. We're going to cheat and hit the B key. Barometric pressure, 2983. All good to go there. Flaps set for takeoff. Now, see, this is where it gets a little tricky because we don't know what it is, but you only have two options here. Takeoff and approach. There's our answer. Flaps are set for takeoff. I'm kind of surprised that they want us doing this beforehand. Cabin signs as required. We already turned on the seatbelt signs and no smoking signs. Parking brakes are ready to be released. So, at this point, let's complete the rest of our checklist. There we go. And next we have before takeoff. Or taxi, excuse me. Brakes. Release. We're going to do a brake check, nose wheel steering check, and make sure the flight instruments are registering. All right, so we'll just skip through that one. We'll make sure to hit all of our points. Okay. See, I wish that it gave us more information here. Like on the before takeoff. Like the trims, I have no idea what the trim setting is. Let's go back here for a second. There was one other menu that we might check. Performance, weight and fuel. It's not going to be in weight and fuel. It's not going to be in takeoff. I don't see anything that indicates a trim setting. Next. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. That one snuck up on me. I try to mute when I do that. VNAV, we're not going to worry about that at the time. Okay, so we're just going to sort of wing it for now because I don't know how to set the trim in it. The other thing I did not like is that there isn't any documentation in the folder for this aircraft. All we have is this checklist that I'm aware of. Hopefully there's some other documentation out there somewhere that maybe I'm missing. I'm really hoping so because I would really appreciate that. Cabin power. Why is cabin power off? We don't want cabin power off. There we go. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and let me show you guys what I was talking about earlier. I don't know if you can see them. Huh. So earlier when I started it, automatically, what I was trying to show you was automatically the external lights were on. And what I mean by that is the strobe light. Let me release the parking brake. I'm kind of curious. Huh. I'll be darned. That's weird. Anyway, the strobe lights were on earlier, and I hadn't done anything. That is super odd. I wonder what changed. All right, well, is what it is. Let's fly. Let's make sure my rudder pedals are still behaving themselves. They are. That's fantastic. All right, and the parking brake is already released. Let's add a little bit of power. Nose wheel steering is responding. Brake check. Brakes are good. All right, let's get to taxiing out to 29 right. Unfortunately, it's the way that I always get stuck with. So we are taking off from the long one. We got a long taxi ahead. But we'll do some things while we're waiting. I'll show you guys in just a minute. Now, one of the things I was kind of curious about that was not in the checklist, and I feel like should have been before we got rolling. Flight directors were not turned on. Let me make sure of that. Yeah, they're on now. Oops. And I came off the taxiway, paying attention to other things. Altitude select. We'll set our initial altitude to 10,000 feet. Actually, we'll go 12,000. That's my normal clearance out of here. Okay. Heading bug will align it with a runway when we get up there. Actually, we'll go ahead and set it. 302 degrees is what we're looking for. Let's go the other way. So our heading bug is right down here. There's 302. First officer, flight director, doesn't seem to work yet. We have ground speed indication here. I'm not seeing it. Got true airspeed registering 15 knots. Ground speed 27 knots. There it is. So I'm taxiing pretty fast here. Jeez. Yeah, we're taxiing fast, I would say. Now we're at 30 knots. Let's pull that back. It's always really weird trying to taxi on the outside of the aircraft. It's like everything's reversed. Flight level change. We're going to leave that initially at 140 knots. Our rotation speed, what did we say, is 115. Once we get airborne, we'll increase that to 210 knots. Climb profile on this is 210 knots and I think Mach 0.5. So far, it's a pretty awesome little aircraft. I like how sleek it looks. It really does. Again, we're going to set this initially to... Actually, I'm going to go straight for 210 knots. The only thing that has me worried is the trim. I don't know what the trim setting is supposed to be for this aircraft on takeoff. Everything else I'm pretty confident with. So we have flaps set. Again, trims I don't know. Cast meshes are clear. Navigation is set. Flight guidance, flight directors are set. There they are. Data set. Takeoff briefing. Radar as required. And ice protection if necessary. Alright, so we're good. And then we have the after takeoff checklist. Alright, let's hold short. There we go. Now what I'm not seeing is landing lights and all that jazz. So let's get down here. I'm just going to flip them to on. They may come on when we hit the runway. You know, all right, I'll check that first. Let's test that. 'Cause that's when it should happen. Let's see what happens when we take the runway. Are we clear over here? Yep. Okay. Let's check the runway first, because again, so much of this plane is automated. We'll just center up that heading bug just to make sure. Oh, 305. Well, that's probably where the nose is pointed. All right, now let's go outside. See the beacon light on there. Landing lights are on. And the strobe light came on. There's your answer, guys. All right, well, let's do this. So, I'm going to power up here. 30%. Make sure the engines are stable. That should be our toga. Stupid brake. Oh, easy, girl. You got a caution. Oh, damn it. Goodness gracious, I can't keep the thing on the road right now. We'll have to address the error afterwards. I missed something. There's 110 rotating. Positive rate indicating gear up. Flaps are up. Now, after checklist, we have yaw damper turned on, as I hope it is. Autopilot engaging. Nav mode on. And let's find out what's wrong. Oh, transponder! Goodness gracious. Did I miss that on the checklist? Son of a gun, how about that? It actually warned me the transponder wasn't ready. TA! That's all it was. I'll be darned. Well, you live and learn. Alright, this thing's climbing like a bat. Let's engage flight level change. And Let's speed that up to 210 knots. All right, and let's see here. Oh, what are you mad about now? Yeah, I clicked it. There. Goodness gracious. That light was a little hard to see. Does the light go out? No, you really don't get a light, do you? But you do get the autopilot enunciation, so I guess I should have caught that. First time flying a plane is always fun. The rest levers are good. Flight guidance is good. All right. Everything is good. And that's it. Doesn't look like we have a landing checklist. Oh, yeah, we do. There it is. Oh, there we go. I see. I need to scroll. All right, pressurization. Where's my yep, cabin pressure changing. PSI 3.1 frame. Okay. Yep, nothing's out normal. No alerts. Not that I would probably recognize one if I saw one, but you know, I'm doing the best I can here. And altimeters. We're not ready for transition altitude. But we'll go ahead and increase our target altitude. Flight level 160. And let's also do something different here, see what happens with our flight plan. Let's go to flight plan, and we are going to instead... I don't want to go to Rosker. Well, when we get to Rosker is when we're going to make the change. So when we get to Rosker, I'm going to activate the leg to hot. Actually, we're going to go direct to hot once we get to Rosker. Oh. That selects that. There we go. So a few more minutes and we'll be there. All right, my friends. So a couple updates here. We're just now turning towards Rosker here. Well, actually, now we're heading towards the Gila Bend. So at this point, let's go direct to hot because I really don't want to do that. Let's go direct and activate direct to hot. There. I think that's going to save us a lot of time. I really do. And I also want to check while that's happening. Let's take a look at the chart for the arrival into Phoenix. And I want to make sure that we're not going to bust our altitudes. So we're starting at hot, and at hot we need to be between... Here, let me get a better camera view. There we go. Between 220 and 250 at 280 knots. I mean, those things can go 280 knots. I'm just kidding. They can go 280 knots. So we need to be at flight level 220, and then we'll be descending. So you know what? We're just going to go ahead and actually set 22,000 feet. Let's just go ahead and take it down now. So we'll set 22,000 right about the time we get to hot. We'll be turning right back around and descending. Now, the VNAV is going to be the exact same as what we've seen in the working title G3000, okay? And so what I mean is that, for example, at ping, I think I saw we need to be at 17,000, yeah, so or above 17. So let's put 17,000 here and throw that in. And birdie, I'm assuming, let's see here, 13,000 is what that one was, yep. 1, 3, and these are all above. So we're going to hit enter there. Par is where we're going, between 10,000 and 12,000. Let's go 10,000 is where I would like to be at par. Then we can just hold tight. And then perk between 9 and 8. Let's call it 8. I always prefer to be on the lower end if I can. And FinApp, let's do 5,000 feet. And that will take us, that should be the initial fix altitude for the ILS 26 left approach. So let's go back and check that out real quick. And VNAV should be enabled, so we're good there. Top of descent won't be calculated until it's time. Okay, and let's go check our charts for the approach. ILS 26. Let's take a look at that. And we determined the initial fix is Zerlo. Actually, it's Todre, sorry. And we need to be at 5,000 feet. There it is. Okay, cool. So we should be fine like that. So we'll just sit tight here. See how we're looking. Oh, altimeters, darn it. We need to set the standard pressure. So we hit our barometric button. So we're back to 29902. So altimeters are set on the checklist. And again, on the cruise, we're set. Monitor our systems. For the descent, landing field elevation verify. Sure, we just happen to be there. Landing elevation is going to be 1,100 feet. Is touchdown zone elevation 1135. Engine anti-ice as required. What's our temperature out right now? Outside air temperature is negative 16 degrees Celsius. Yeah, we might need some anti-ice. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Let's turn the window heat on. And what else am I looking at? Oh, wait, norm. Those are so that ice protection should engage automatically. But we'll turn the windshield heat on. There isn't really any moisture here, but, you know, what the hell. And let's see here. Engine anti-ice. I really don't think we need engine anti-ice. You guys think? Outside air temperature, negative 18 degrees. I think we'll be okay. Let's look at... We have a cool window for that. Let's check it out. What is it? Over here, right? Aircraft systems. Ice protection. Oh yeah, -1, still 98 degrees Celsius. Yeah, we're fine. Okay, cool. God, that is so neat. The tail there looks a little cold, but I think we're okay. This is pretty neat. This is a neat little airplane. I gotta be completely blunt here. It's a pretty badass little plane. All right, let's get back to our flight plan. Let's go to the home page, get our maps back up. All right, here we are turning on to hot. And I want to make sure that it sets our next target as ping. I've had it before where it tries to go back. Yep, cool, we're good. All right, and we are approaching our top of descent. We are, what was that? Well, ping is the top of descent, so it's a few miles below. So at this point, what we're going to do is go ahead and start setting our altitude down. What did we say ping we need to be at? We need to be above 17,000. So let's go ahead and hit, well, let's take it all the way down. Let's take it down to where we need to go. So I'm going to set 10,000 feet at first. That's how I prefer to do it. I don't think VNAV works, if I remember correctly. Oh, it did. It started the descent. Okay, well, that's, never mind. Ah! Now I gotta get that back up. Way to go, dum-dum. I was not expecting VNAV to work. I was not. Alright, at the very least, get to 17,000. Settle down, boy. Settle down. Although, why did that make the aircraft go bonkers? Threw us way off course. Very odd behavior. We're descending like a bullet. Yeah, that seems really extreme. Let's actually just lock in the altitude here.
Overspeed.
Yeah, I bet we're overspeeding. The thing's hauling ass.
Overspeed.
I don't think it has an auto throttle, does it? So cruise profile for this is Mach 0.5, 5. So let's pull the speed back a bit. We are turning and burning here. Let's make sure VNAV is still enabled. It is. Top of descent, time top of descent is 1 minute 54 seconds. It's actually increasing a little bit. Actually, according to this, we passed that. I see. So let's, I guess, continue our descent down. I think I'm going to stick with vertical speed here, though. Set that altitude back down. Now, that was intense. Like, it was diving like a rock, man. And again, that may not be a bad thing. It's just something that I've got to get used to, right? So there's 300 feet per minute. Let's look for 1,500. So what I'm trying to still monitor is I'm trying to get back on this carrot here. Get back on the glide slope. I'm going to pull the throttles back. And we are not descending fast enough, so we're going to have to increase. There we go. We're starting to catch the glide path. Go to 3,000. As long as we don't overspeed, we'll let her come down. That's why I wish there was some really good documentation for it. I could not locate it. I even looked in the installation directory. Alright, we just passed through ping. So now we're hunting for... Oop. Looking for 13,000 by the next hop. Coming through 18,000 feet. I always like to give it a couple hundred feet when I'm using the cheap method to get the barometric pressure. There it goes. Alright, so we set our barometric pressure, looking at 2.9 or 6.8. We're starting to catch the glide path. And there it is. And it wants us descending at about 1,100 feet per minute at this point. We'll do 1,200 there. Let's go back to our checklist. Alright. Check, check, check. And we need to check our speed bugs. Let's go back to the performance, speed bugs, landing. Get from sim, 113 knots on the approach speed, 108 knots at final reference. Okay. Going back to our checklist here. The approach. Seatbelt signs, passenger briefing, cabin signs, avionics set, landing data, CAS messages, if any. Alright, and we are continuing on to par. Give me a second, I'm still monitoring everything. Par is where we're looking for 10,000, okay? And let's see here again. Avionics, landing light, CAS, approach briefing, flaps. Alright, takeoff and approach. Alright, so we got a bit to go yet before that. True airspeed, let's see here, that's ground speed. 208 knots ground speed. I like this descent profile that shows right here. That's really awesome. There's the VNAV profile. That's cool. Oh, we need to increase our descent rate. It's 3,500 feet per minute. Wow, dude. But then again, I waited a little bit, didn't I? Alright, catching back up. That's kind of nice. I didn't notice it was right there. Darn it, come on. Keep on going down to 5,000 now. It's weird not having to worry about lights and everything, but it's a good thing too, because I clearly can't order a burger right now if I wanted to. I feel like I've got my head somewhere it doesn't belong, if you catch my drift. Alright, speed brake, flaps, landing, or takeoff to approach. Nice, autopilot, yaw damper, disengage. Okay. So from here, it's just a matter of following the approach. We'll change the CDI to the VOR. Let's make sure our ILS frequency is correct. I didn't even think about that, so let's do that quickly. Go home. Charts. It is the approach plate. ILS should be 11175. Audios and radios. Nav. Yep, it is not right. 11175. Enter. And go ahead and give that a tap and hit transfer. Alright, that is now the active on nav 1, which is good. Let's go back to our flight plan, see where we're at. Okay, looking for 8,000. We're a little below our glide path now. Looks like we caught up. Very bouncy aircraft, huh? Really cool little plane, man. We're going to level out here. Throttle back up a little bit. And it looks like we're ready to continue the descent. $260 knots. Come on, baby, you gotta catch it. Back to our VNAV profile. 3,500 feet per minute again, man. Like, it wants to descend like a bullet. There. I like to clean mine up a bit. Okay, we're supposed to be at 5,000 by FinApp, and I don't see that happening unless we get down here. Final approach. That's what comes to mind. Because there's our glide path indicator right there. Although, where are we going? What altitude are we supposed to be at Zerlo? I'll bet we can hit it. Hang on a second. Home, charts. We're at Cirrun, sorry. Cirrun, 6,000? We're there. Let's go. Alright, let's start configuring for our speeds here. So, let's see here. We had the final approach speed. Didn't give me my speed bugs. Back. Performance speed bugs, 113 knots. And let's go back to our map. And you know what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to go for VOR1 on the localizer. See if I do this right. I hope I don't F it up here. Go into our approach mode. Let's set takeoff landing flaps. Let's re-verify our barometric pressure. 2977 for landing. We are below the glide slope, which is good. Believe it or not. Where are you going, bud? There we go. It just makes more sense rather than flying that big old circle around. Nice thing about being in simulation, right? 150 knots. Let's get the gear down. Gear lights in transition there. Glide slope is acquired. What are we doing? Holy moly. That would scare the hell out of the passengers. Alright, so we just about captured the glide slope. Localizer's still a little off, honestly. See what happens when we catch the glide slope here in a second. Alright, running through our checklist here real quick. Speed brake, flaps. We are set at takeoff. Airspeed. Pulling back to reference. And we'll disengage the autopilot and yaw damper as we get closer. And it looks like we are now tracking the glide slope and we're lining up with the localizer. Looking good. So now we're just looking for that 113 knots and 108 at touchdown is what we're expecting. Now 11 knots, so would that be about 115? Let's go final flaps for landing. She's a little floaty. But all in all, looking good. Looks like we're a little high. Oh, darn it. I hit my mouse wheel. Looks like we're a little high on the glide slope. I think I'm going to disengage here. And take the airplane for ourselves here. Got a little below. On visual now. Getting a little bumpy here. A little high now, come on. A lot of high now. There we go. It's better. Just trying to maintain now. Easy flare. Let it float. Throttles out. Wow, she'll float. Oof. Whoa, baby. Oh my gosh, that nose wheel is sensitive. Holy crap. That was scary. Woo! Flaps returning to takeoff. Now retracting. Mercy. Let's get off this runway. All right. So right off the bat here, let's talk about my thoughts on this aircraft. First off, for the price point, it's absolutely phenomenal. The price point is beautiful for the plane that we get. The functionality is absolutely wonderful. It's a ton of fun to fly. It's touchy. Everything that I could complain about as far as the actual flight, landing, takeoff, etc., is user experience or user inexperience. Okay, I didn't know the aircraft. I had no idea what to expect. I had no idea what to expect on landing. I think that 3-degree flare was probably about right. At the same token, it floated a lot longer than I anticipated. I didn't pull the throttle off near as soon as I should have. You know, like that landing, there were a lot of errors on my part. And then a couple in the flight. Now, with that being said, some of the goofy things that I was seeing with the autopilot were kind of weird to me as far as... like when we were on the descent, the nose kept pitching up and down, up and down, up and down. And then what we saw it again on the approach there, that dramatic approach. I don't know what to attribute that to. So I don't know if that was me or if that was something specific to the aircraft. So that's going to be something that, you know, only time's going to tell. And obviously, again, further experience is going to determine. But I can tell you guys right now, if you enjoy the TBM 930, if you enjoy the Cessna Citation Longitude, if you enjoy the CJ4, you're going to love this plane. And honestly, actually, I think I'm going to stick to my first comment. If you enjoy the TBM 930, you will love this plane. This plane is a ton of fun. Very, very cool. Very, very well done. I really enjoyed this aircraft, and I hope you guys enjoyed this flight and learned a few things, at least from it. The checklist, it's I would like to see a bit more information. Again, that's because I don't have any documentation to support the aircraft, and that makes it a little difficult. But I'm sure there is a ton of documentation out there that eventually, you know, will surface and we'll be able to find. And I'm sure that also some of the information that we're given is likely limited, again, to the licensing, that Honda was not crazy about the idea of a replica of their aircraft being made. They're very similar to Gulfstream like that. If you guys know, you don't really see any Gulfstreams in flight simulations, and that's because they keep a lid on it. Same thing happened with the Cessna Citation Longitude, actually. Finding real-world documentation for the Longitude when I was making my guide was an epic pain in the butt. I will tell you, I'll be doing a guide on this aircraft. I will dig up as much information I can, and we're going to do a guide on this plane. It is a ton of fun. This is a really cool plane. I really enjoyed this. It's going to be able to be a bit faster than the TBM 930 and yet have that equivalence of the places you can go with it, right? I mean, we could take this thing to Sedona and one of those little landing runways if we wanted to and have a good time with it. You could really have a lot of fun in simulation with an aircraft like this. I'm really pleased that we have it. I'm really glad that I bought it. I wish it wasn't limited to just the marketplace. I prefer standalone aircraft, but that is one of the games. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you decide whether or not you were going to purchase this aircraft. I am super glad that I did. As always, folks, if you liked it, hit that like and subscribe button for me. It really does make a difference. Stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.